kids! Welcome back to another week of Shofar Safari. We are so excited to have you guys here. Remember what we learned last week? Last week, we learned about Jacob's dream. Isn't that fantastic? This week, we're going to learn about Jacob marrying Leah and Rachel. Wait, 2 wives? Is that allowed? Well, you're about to find out how it happened. Join us on our Shofar Safari. Remember, wear your jungle hat, pack a warm jacket, get excited. We're going to do some worship, some memory verses, a lesson, and you guys are part of it. We'll see you guys just now. Bye. Good evening and welcome to the News at 7, where we bring you news from the field, from the wild, and from Safari. I am your host once again, no name change Winston, and I am still the same Gertrude. Things that have changed, however, is that a new form of food has started dominating the diets of our kids' church children. Oh, I know. What food is that, Gertrude? Marshmallows. We cross now live to the field. Welcome back. It is so lovely to see the children enjoying the marshmallows. Such a unique food group, Winston. Have you tasted one, Gertrude? No, but I would love to. Me too. Anyway, thank you for joining us for another News at 7, where we bring you news from the field, from the wild, and from Safari. Good night. Have a great week. Bye.
Welcome to Base Camp, kids! Today, we are going to learn a little bit more about Jacob and how he found a wife. After Jacob's dream, he went to a country called Haran. Haran was the home of his uncle, his mother Rebecca's brother. When he got there, he found a few shepherds that were also from Haran. He asked them, do they know his uncle Laban? And they said, yes, they do. And in fact, Laban's daughter, Rachel, was on her way to the well with her sheep. When Rachel found out that Jacob was the son of Rebekah, who was her father's sister, she ran to her father's house and told him all about it. Laban was so excited to hear that Jacob was in Haran, he ran to meet him and gave him a big hug. He said to him, come and stay in my house. Jacob was a very good worker. He decided to help his uncle and to work the land and to feed the sheep and to work with his shepherds. He worked for his uncle for 1 whole month, and then his uncle said, but how can I repay you? How much money do you want for all the work that you have done? And Jacob said, no, I don't want any money. But if I work for you for 7 years, I want to marry your daughter, Rachel. Laban had 2 daughters. The oldest daughter was Leah, and the youngest daughter was Rachel. Rachel was the daughter that Jacob loved very much. The Bible tells us that Jacob worked for 7 years so that he could marry Rachel. But to him, it only felt like just a few short days because of how much he loved her. After 7 years of hard work, Jacob went to Laban and said to him, I have worked for you for 7 years, and now it is time for me to marry your daughter Rachel. In those days, they had a big party with all of their friends before the father would give his daughter away to the bridegroom. So Laban invited everybody, all of their friends, and they had a big wedding feast. But that night, when it was time for Laban to give away Rachel, he did a horrible thing. He tricked Jacob. He sent in his oldest daughter Leah, and it was so dark that Jacob didn't notice. The next morning, when he woke up, it wasn't the bride that he thought he had, but it was Leah, the oldest sister. He felt very angry and upset that Laban would trick him like that. He was angry with Laban and he ran to him and he said to him, "How can you trick me like that? I worked 7 years to marry your daughter Rachel." But Laban said to him, "In our country, it works like this. You have to marry your oldest daughter first." Then Laban said, "If you take my oldest daughter to be your wife, I will let you marry Rachel in 1 week. Thereafter, you have to work for me for 7 more years." Jacob decided that that was the right thing to do. He wanted to do that so that he can marry Rachel. After 1 week, Jacob was married to Rachel and he had his own household with his 2 wives. Leah, the oldest sister, gave him 10 children. But Rachel, the wife that Jacob loved the most, didn't have any children yet. Because of this, Rachel was very jealous of Leah, who was able to give Jacob children. And Leah was jealous of Rachel because she was the wife that Jacob loved the most. Finally, Rachel also had a son. God didn't forget about Rachel. She named her son Joseph. They were one big family. This is such an interesting story, and I was wondering, why are we going to learn about this story today? What can we learn from all these things that happened? I think there are 4 very important lessons that we can learn from this. Number 1, if you have favoritism, if someone is your favorite and you treat them differently, you may hurt someone else's feelings. It is very important to treat everybody with love. Number 2, if you love something, you have to work hard for it and you have to give something up to get it. Love asks you to give something of yourself to receive back. Lesson number 3, it is very important to be patient, to wait for God to give you the good things. Sometimes you ask God something in your heart, you want something so badly, and you can't wait to get it. But if you wait patiently, then God will give you the good gifts that He has promised you. The 4th thing, and maybe one of the most important things, when you feel cheated and you feel that someone has hurt you or has been wrong to you, it is important to not do the same thing back to them, to turn your cheek to them and to do something good in return. Don't repay evil with evil. Wow, can you believe that we learned these 4 awesome lessons from this story in the Bible? It is such a nice story. I want you to remember the story and tell someone about it. Tell them how to love someone. Tell them how if you feel hurt or cheated, not to repay it with the same behavior. I'm so happy that we heard this story today because we can use this in our everyday lives. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I hope you can tell someone the story. Okay, have a good week.
Welcome to the Boma. Can you still remember what memory verse did you learn last time? Okay, last time we learned Joshua 1 verse 9. And it says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, nor be dismayed. The Lord your God is with you wherever you go." Okay, so today we learned the story about Jacob, and he wanted to marry Rachel, but his uncle was unfair to him and he gave him first Leah and then later he gave him Rachel. And you know, sometimes people are unfair to us, but even when people are unfair to us, it cannot separate us from God's love. God will love us no matter what people do to us. And that's the verse that we're going to learn today. We're going to learn today about Romans 8 verse 38. And it says, "For I'm persuaded that nothing can ever separate us from God's love." So we're going to do it now with some hand signs. Are you ready for this? Okay, so it is Romans 8 verse 38. And it says, "For I am persuaded that nothing can ever separate us from God's love. Let's try this one more time. It's Romans 8 verse 38. And it says, "For I am persuaded that nothing can ever separate us from God's love." Okay, I will check if you can remember it. You can send us a video, and we are going now to the monkey and the other animal to tell you what challenge you must do when you recite that verse. Until next time, bye.
Such a pretty day. Zebra, I haven't seen you in 2 whole weeks. Yeah, I know. I was almost out migrating. Well, it's so good to see you. You missed so much. Last week, the children had a marshmallow challenge. It was so great. Wow, it sounds amazing. Yeah, and now this week, they learned that Jacob married Rachel and Leah. Can you believe it? It's 2 whole people. Whoa, that sounds a bit strange. I know. So, I was thinking, for this week's Memory Verse Challenge, the children need to find a partner so that there's 2 people doing 1 memory verse. Well, more than 2. It can be 2 or 3. Just whatever they want. But just more than 1 person. Because, like Jacob had Leah and Rachel, they should have a friend. How about that? Sounds epic. I'm excited to see. Yeah. So kids, remember to send through your videos. We love it, and the news team loves it too. We'll see you guys next week. Bye. Bye.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Bird Hike. Can you remember what we do at Bird Hike? That's right, we do some activities. So you can ask your mom, dad or any family member to help you to get all these ingredients and measuring tools so that you can be part of our activity. For this activity, you will need 2 mixing bowls, a whisk, milk, oil, flour, eggs, a spoon, measuring spoons, sugar, measuring cups, baking powder, salt, mittens so that you don't get burned, another pouring spoon, cook and spray or you can use butter, and a muffin pan. And most importantly, you will need the recipe. So before we begin, we learned a lot about Jacob's character. And one of the character's traits that we've learned about him today was that he had a lot of patience. All in all, he worked 14 years to get what he really wanted. So, we're going to learn a bit about patience while we're doing this food activity. Because we need to wait, we need to prepare it, and then we can enjoy it. So, let's begin. First step that I'm going to do is going to put all my dry ingredients into this bowl and then all my wet ingredients into this bowl. So, and I have my recipe right here next to me.
Hey guys, welcome back to the fire hut. I'm here with King Judah. We're spotting fires again. Can you believe it? We're actually maybe the best spotters, but don't tell the other people. Oh, that would be kind of bad. Anyway, so King Judah and I are here. We feel like worshiping. We're so glad you guys are here to worship with us. Today we're gonna do an Afrikaans song. Ons gaan vandag 'n Afrikaanse liedjie doen. So julle moet lekker opstaan, lekker jou sap bietjie bukkel en dan gaan ons lekker worship. Okay. 1 2 3.
Dis so lekker om die Here te dien. 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 Dis so lekker. Dis so lekker om die Here te dien. Dis so lekker. Dis so lekker om die Here te dien. Maar is so swaar om jou
Lekker maatjies, nou dat julle lekker besig was, nou gaan ons bietjie stil wees. So julle kan lekker 'n plekkie vind om te sit, bietjie rustiger word. Ons gaan nou luister vir wat die woord vir ons sê, wat die Here deur die liedjie vir ons sê, en dan gaan ons julle oor 2 minute weer sien. Bye!
Jesus, sterke leeu van Juda. Jesus, vlekkelose lam. Jesus, oorwinnaar oor die dood. Jesus, U is oneindig groot. U is vir ewig, U is vir altyd, en ek weet U is ook vir my. Tot verheerlik, tot verhoog deur al die lof wat jy vir my. Kom verander, kom vernuwe, deur die passie binne my. Jesus, het gaan alles net oor U. Jesus, sterke leeu van Juda. Jesus, vlekkelose lam. Jesus, oorwinnaar oor die dood. Jesus, U is oneindig groot. U is vir ewig, U is vir altyd, en ek weet U is ook vir my. Word verheerlik, word verhoog deur al die lof wat jy vir my. Kom verander, kom vernuwe, deur die passie binne my. Jesus, gaan alles net oor U. Jesus, 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 U is oneindig groot. U is vir ewig, U is vir altyd, en ek weet U is ook vir my. Word verheerlik, word verhoog deur al die lof wat jy vir my. Kom verander, kom vernuwe, deur die passie binne my. Jesus, gaan alles, Jesus, gaan alles net oor U.
Thanks for joining us at the Fire Hut today, guys. King Judah had a great time. I had a great time. And now we're not so bored anymore. We'll see you guys next time. Bye! Did you guys enjoy the lesson? Because I definitely did. Wasn't it amazing to see how Jacob worked for 7 whole years to get Rachel? That's how much he loved her. And then, oh my word, he was tricked and he got married to Leah. But then he agreed to work another 7 whole years so that he could marry Rachel. That's how much he loved her. It's amazing. Well, we'll see you guys next week for another week of Shofar Safari. Remember to send through your videos. We love to see you guys every single week. I'll check you guys next time. Have a good week. Stay warm and enjoy the activity. Bye, guys.